doing everything wrong on full display and everyone was seeing it. Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amity Gilmour and this is my life, and I thought I wanted to... Wait, I need to show you something. Alright, I'm gonna pop you here. What do you think? I made these. So let me just like sit down with you for a second. Let's just talk about like what I've been up to. It's just the end of the Easter long weekend and my mum came over. We just hung out together. We went and saw Annie. Loved it. I went and saw that also with two of my uncles. One of my uncles who lives in Sydney and my other uncle who lives back at home, but he had a job that he was doing near the city. So we invited him to come out for coffee and then we'll like go watch Annie. That is now my fourth musical I've seen. Like professional musical. I've seen Mary Poppins, Mamma Mia, Frozen the musical, which I've actually vlogged and is somewhere on this channel. Now I've seen Annie. On Sunday, my mum stayed behind while I went to Urban Surf and it was so fun. My friend had 2 free tickets, one for her and one for me. I have been having a few heart issues on and off, so I wasn't sure if Urban Surf was going to be a good idea, but I did it and it was fine. Well, I did have like an issue with my heart somewhere like near the end, and then I just sat out and it was fine. It was all groovy smoothie. And then Sunday night obviously went to church. We also went to church on Friday for Good Friday, and then Monday we just stayed home and chilled because I was so sore from surfing. And then Tuesday my mum and I went out for coffee before she left, and now she's left. She's got to go home via Newcastle because she has a scan she has to get done. It's a day later. Wednesday is sewing day. I sew, edit and take pictures of like products and put them up. I was originally supposed to be having surgery today, but my surgery actually got moved to 2 weeks time because my surgeon saw that I was moved to a time when her registrar was doing the surgeries, and she's like, no, that cannot be done. You cannot get your surgeries done by a registrar. It has to be done by me. She's like, she won't let anyone else touch me. But for now, let's do some sewing because this is really exciting. Okay, for my small business, I am not just doing tribute items anymore. I'm also doing scrunchies and then another product which is to be announced later. Also in other news, my new release, Cry, is coming out in 2 weeks. I'm actually gonna be in hospital during the release day. So that's gonna be interesting. We'll see. This is like second release in hospital. Oh well. We're not really having a good track record, but let's go do some sewing. I bow my head to pray and close my teary eyes. Don't have the words to say, but a groaning in my heart. And as I open up my eyes, I see I've just been with all these scrunchies and been watching Grace, of course. I'm chilling. Chloe's chilling over there. She's so cute. The entirety of today, I've just been threading elastic. Problem I'm having right now is I have a lot of bile leakage coming out. Don't really know what to do there, but we have 2 theories of what's causing it because I'm still taking the Creon. They think that I might be having more pseudo obstructions than I usually do. Really annoyed about that because it's just disgusting and it smells and I smell like bile. That's how it is at the moment. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I cannot wait for the surgery to fix that issue because technically I'm supposed to be going to hospital in these scenarios, but I hate hospital right now. I have been there way too many times to actually want to go back, so I'm not going back. I'm just staying, which is not helpful, but what would be helpful if I didn't have to go to hospital in the first place. So hello. Okay, so I was doing a bunch of sewing and stuff, and then I got some inspiration to like finish writing a song that I've been writing. I've written the second verse now, but yeah, I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek. You ready? While others just a mess. I'm still working. Anyone else have the issue where like cross-legged, they just mold to that and then it just hurts to like come loose with that? Anyway, bye. Hey everyone. Alright, so long time no talk. I am off to vote because we have our federal election coming up on the weekend, but I try to pre-vote just because on the actual day it's packed and I can't really stand up very well. My heart's just not doing so well, so if I had to stand up heaps it wouldn't be a good idea. So I'm going to pre-poll because there's less people. As you probably know, because I've said this in my videos before, but if you're new, in Australia it's illegal not to vote. We legally have to vote. If we don't vote we get a fine of, I think it's $200 or $500 you got to pay for not voting, which is pretty stupid because I don't want to vote because I just don't like any of the candidates. I don't like any of them, like none of them. But anyway, I'm gonna go vote now. Hey, I just voted and I hated it. I knew I would because they said you have to choose 6 parties. I don't even like 6 parties, they all suck. Anyway, I basically just chose 6 parties. Some of them are good, 2 of them, only 2 of them. I didn't want to vote anyone else, but anyway, I hate voting. So it's a beautiful evening. I just had an appointment over the phone with one of my medical team. I have to go get a glucose sensor because I think we need to check my glucose levels just to rule out that isn't making things 100 million times worse. I've changed my dose on metformin now, so I want to see if that's actually helping. So let's go pick it up. Hello, I'm hiding in Narnia and having a hissy fit because my computer is being a bum. But I'm doing recordings for a song. I'm excited. DIY. I'm faking it till I make it. Oh, I forgot to mute it. How would to host for free and go back to how when yeah. Where'd my phone go? My phone. Oh my gosh, so I've just done a whole bunch of vocal takes and I thought I would let you guys know something that is a real struggle now that I have issues with blood flow. Singing makes me so lightheaded. I feel like, I don't know what high feels like because I've obviously never, other than being high on morphine, for medical stuff, but singing just makes me feel so tired, exhausted, and when I'm doing vocal takes, not when I'm doing one song on stage or like I said, it's just when I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. It sucks. So tired. Hey, I look trash because I haven't brushed my hair. Got a lot of acne. Always comes when I'm just not in a good way in terms of my health. If you want to know like how I'm actually feeling, just look at my acne and that will tell you all you need to know. But I went out last night. I had a party, which was super fun. It was really funny because we have to vote today. I don't, obviously, because I did pre-voting. So because it was my friend's birthday, literally last night before everyone else has to vote, it was so funny. We were just having a mixture between theological and political discussions, what we think about different things to do with voting, where we lean, and it's actually funny because I realized I leaned differently to what I expected. We did the little compass thing and I leaned towards conservative left, but mostly centric, mostly in the center, which I didn't realize that left and right actually is more to do with the market rather than certain things. It's not just a left and right thing, it's left, right, conservative and progressive. And it's that whole compass thing. So that was interesting. But I was kind of right in the center nearly, but leaning on that side. So the problem I had though was I had lots of food. Well, not lots. I had a normal amount of what a normal person would have. And obviously, as you know, I cannot eat like a normal person. So I came home and just threw up most of the night until I got to bed, then went to bed and woke up late this morning, midday. That's just the price you pay for eating like a normal person when you have gastroparesis. Currently, I'm under my gazebo in my backyard. I've got the lighting and the camera set up in a certain way, so it's like my camera's there, you're where my camera is, and my phone is on the other side of the camera and it's facing the light. Sorry about that. The light is facing towards the back of the chair that you guys are sitting on, and so it's pushing the light that way. I feel like I'm such a DIY cinematic director, I don't even know. And look at the stars and the purple, like the sky. So when I'm looking at the sky behind me, it doesn't look purple. I can see the stars, but I look in the camera. Is it just me, or is that like a purple starry night? It looks so good. So I'm gonna give you an update because a lot has happened. This vlog was not meant to be that chaotic. It was all over the place, all over the shop. And I'm going to tell you why. I'll give you an update. And I think what I found ways to update you guys on my health without, I guess, publicizing that that's what the video is about all the time, because then you end up getting people watching your video just because they want to see illness, which I don't like. I'm so much more than that. So I'm happy to like have my video and my vlogs and then update you guys as I go along. But I'm still figuring it all out. But as you saw, I was in hospital. I went surfing, which I didn't film because I was with a friend. Went surfing. Had the time of my life. It was the last surf before surgery. And I had that surf. And unfortunately, I got home. I ate something that I probably shouldn't with my friend. And then I bled out. Anyway, we won't get into that. I think you get what I'm saying. But I was also bleeding in my tube as well. So I decided that I was going to try and figure out what it was without going to the hospital. So Tuesday night, I went to my local urgent care, went there to double check and see if there's anything they could do. They said I had to go to the hospital. I asked if I could wait till the next morning. They said my vitals were stable, so that was okay. They said I had to start fasting and I had to come off aspirin, which, oh my goodness guys, I have such a big story for you guys. Anyway, I had to come off aspirin because if there's a bleed there, as you guys know, aspirin is not going to be friendly. So I came off aspirin. Keep that in mind. And then I ended up going and staying over with a friend at their house because my housemate was not going to be home. So I was like, you know what, I'll just go to my friend's place. Went there, stayed the night, woke up the next morning, tried to call my doctor, tried to call the nurse, my surgeon, couldn't get in because she's on leave. So I was like, I tried everything else before going to hospital, and unfortunately I ended up in hospital. I went into emergency. They lost me in the system, so I was there for longer than I should have been. And I was like, you guys, I was in tears because there is a lot going on right now. Again, I'm not going to go into the full detail because there is just family stuff going on at the moment that's really tough for us, to do with health being not so good for other family members, which again, I'm not going into it, it's not my story, but it's stressful nonetheless. Anyway, I cried a lot because I just couldn't stop it. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm going into surgery next week and now I'm in hospital and might need surgery now, which I was like, no, Cleo, no. Anyway, so I was like, I don't really get it because I was surfing, no Cleo, no water, ocean, whatever. And so I was just like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm crying. At one point I had to step aside, I had to go to the bathroom, and I just broke down. I was in tears. I couldn't get out of the bathroom because I was just like, I don't want anyone to look at me like this. I called my mom and I was like, I cannot do this. I was in tears. Anyway, put it together, got back in the waiting room, lost it again, left for a cry, came back in again. And then finally they called my name and I was taken to saw the doctor. The gastro team got involved. I ended up staying for 2 nights. Gosh, there is a lot to say, a lot. So first of all, the aspirin. I am on aspirin because I keep having these stroke symptoms, which we thought we figured out what it was. Now we're not sure. Again, well, I'm not sure again, and I need to talk to the neuro about it. Plus the neuro was also the only thing the neuro had to go off. She was really honest. She's like, the only thing I have to go off is a test I did 2 years ago that show weak vessels, weakened blood vessels, and a scan that showed a lack of blood flow to my brain. That was all she had to go off. That was it. And so she was thinking, if this is the case, there's a lot. Oh, it's a plane. Sorry. So that was all she had to go off. So she went off that. And then she said, look, this is just a theory at this point. We know that you're getting like a blood flow to the brain. We know that your blood vessels are weak. What we don't know is what these neurological effects are, but she was saying it could be something like a basilar migraine, which is like a migraine that can present as a stroke, but also doesn't always present as a migraine either. So it's really hard to explain, but that was a theory at that point. That was just a theory. She said, try the medicine, try all that. If that doesn't work, I will have to come back to the drawing board. So she is fully aware that what she said is not set in stone, and that we need to continue to work it out. So that's okay. Anyway, so I thought the aspirin wasn't working because I was still getting mild attacks, but they were becoming more frequent, one every week. I tell you, the aspirin is working. I skipped 2 doses. That was it. 2 doses. And I had multiple attacks a day, those 2 days. And it was like, they nearly caught a stroke code multiple times, and I had to explain what was going on, but they still had to do the pull and everything. Anyway, it's crazy because I'm having these attacks over and over again, and I'm telling them it's not a stroke, but they're obviously checking the push and pull, and when that's fine, it's not a stroke, we can rule it off. And they're checking my eyes, like, that's not normal, and they're afraid to call stroke code. And I'm like, no, it's fine, it's not a stroke. I know this because I get it all the time. But it turns out I get it way more without aspirin, which before I was on aspirin, I was getting it once every couple of months. Obviously it's gotten worse because with aspirin, I'm getting it once a week, but without it, I'm getting it multiple times a day. Not good at all. It's actually really bad. So we need the aspirin, and this isn't the only thing. So after so many months, I think we have found the problem artery. I'm not 100% sure, but there is a problem with one of my arteries because they, with the bleed, had to do a CT scan to check for bleeds. They did anyway, a CT where they pump your artery. They're looking at your arteries and stuff, and they found one of my arteries was narrowing and hooked, and there was a question about some compression of the arteries or something. Vasocompression, I think they were saying, or vasoconstriction or vasocompression, I don't know. But they also don't know if this is just that artery that was showing up or if other arteries are doing it all the time. So I was having no symptoms when I was having the CT. I had only skipped 1 dose of aspirin, and I only had, I think I had 2 attacks that day, and then the previous day was crazy. We won't get into the day after, but anyway, I only had 2 attacks, but they were pretty bad attacks. But when I went to go get the CT, I was fine, and this is what it's showing up, and I was like, crazy. I was like, that is insane. So we found an artery that is an issue. Don't know what the issue is, don't know how it's related, if it's related to the lack of blood flow to the brain, if it's that specific artery that's related, or if it's another artery that's doing the same thing sometimes. We don't know. But we have now evidence of an artery by a CT scan that is narrowing. I don't know why. They said it's not plaque, because I asked, could it be plaque, because I know that is like a thing, because I was trying to make sure it wasn't anything that I did. What I was eating, was I eating things that were too high in fat? Was it because my feeds were milk based, and milk is very fatty? Like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. But I asked these questions. They said it's not plaque, it's like a vasoconstriction or something. I don't even know. But it's narrowing, and I still don't know what that means, so I need to like talk to my cardio about that. Mind you, also, I got the nurse to, when I was having this attack, to feel my pulse, and at one point it was really weak, and then another time another nurse felt it and it wasn't weak, but it was skipping beats. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was really bad. And I was just like, oh, so I'm not crazy, because I know every single time I'm with people and they can feel it and they know, like, but I always gaslight myself thinking that I'm crazy, that all this stuff is happening. But I think the reason I also think it's crazy, because it's happening so much. Everything's going wrong all at once, and I have no idea why, and I'm kind of a little bit like, have I done something? Am I taking the wrong medication? Was I put on the wrong medication? Or 2 medications indirectly? I don't know. Like, is it anxiety? Am I thinking it all up in my head? But no, No, there is definitely a real issue. In terms of the bleeding, it's just because when I went surfing and being on aspirin, there was a little bit of irritation and bleeding, but also I can't come off aspirin because that was not fun. I hated that. As much as I hate the fact that I need a lot of medication, I cannot live like that. It was horrible. Oh my goodness, because I couldn't be on aspirin, and I totally understand why, because if there was a bleed, you can't be on aspirin. That puts you in so much danger. But at the same time, it was so difficult. I'm not hopping off aspirin again in a rush like that. I cannot do that. Oh my gosh. So that was how crazy everything was. And now I'm home. I'm fine. I don't know. I'm a little weak. It was a pretty crazy hospital stay. I think a lot went wrong. And I'm not talking about the doctors and everything. They were great. And the nurses were great. I meant my body was just doing everything wrong on full display, and everyone was seeing it, and I was just like, so I'm not crazy. But also, this is insane and not good. Hey, so my camera battery died, but that's kind of about it that I need to say. That's my full video. I hope you liked it. If you stayed to the end, let me know, what is your like sick day go-to when you're sick, or for those who don't get sick very often, when you're just not feeling well? What do you go to craft? Do you go to coloring in books? I want to know, because I need to know these things, because I'm going into hospital on Wednesday for my surgery, and I would love some advice. Alright, see you guys. Bye. Sometimes we cry and no one could blame us if they try, but we still hide away our feelings.